This is the night. This is the day. This is the time. This is our moment. Tonight, and until September the 3rd in Washington, there are two words in the Greek. One is called chronos. The other is called kairos. Chronos means that there are 60 minutes in an hour, 30 seconds, 60 seconds in a minute. We said we would start tonight chronologically. That's chronos. But the word with the Art of Living and the World Cultural Festival is kairos, K-A-I-R-O-S. It means that there are no minutes, no hours, no time. It is divinely inspired by something greater than all of us, something that moves us when you don't want to move, makes you step when you don't want to step, makes you smile when you don't want to smile. That's kairos. This is a kairos moment. As I sat there and watched the film and my good friend, I thought about 59 years ago, sitting in Nashville, Tennessee, a divided nation, institutional racism, where they would not allow me to drink out of certain water fountains, where I had to walk behind people, where I had to sit in the back of the bus. It was a divided nature with hate. It was a divided nature where love was abandoned. It was a place where they said we would never really get along. It was a place where they had a white mentality that said black folks step back, brown folks get around, white folks step up. And I wondered what was wrong with me. What did I do wrong? All I did was be born with the wrong color on the wrong side of town. And I wondered what was wrong with it. And I met a man named Martin Luther King, Jr. And then there was a little boy the same age with me named John Lewis. John was 20, I was 18, C.T. Vivian was 34, Martin was only, Andy Young was 28. And they said, we're going to make a difference. I said, how do you make a difference? They said, let's go to Washington, D.C. I said, Washington, D.C.? Let's go to Washington, D.C. 59 years ago, very much like we're talking about going to Washington next year. We wondered who would come, how would we finance it, what would happen. But remember this, when you have faith, you can do anything. You can move mountains, but you got to be excited about it. Somebody ought to be excited tonight. This is a kairos moment. You ought to say, we're going to be there. How many of you are going to be in Washington? All of you are going to be. I don't hear you. I don't hear you. Maybe you're not coming anyway. This is a kairos moment where we're going to walk up. Now, what do we need to do? When we stand there, they will see strength they'll see unity, they'll see diversity, they'll see men, women, tall, short, black, white, gay, lesbian, whatever it is. We will be there. This is a kairos moment where we come together for what? Unification through diversity. We understand that America can only be strong. The world can only be strong. When I respect you, that's namistad. When I respect the God in you and you respect the God in me, we all have a God-like nature. And that's what this is about. It is not just another occasion. I got excited when I heard that this was going to be on the mall in Washington. And I said, wow, I'm going back to the mall. I traveled with Barack Obama in 2007. And they said, that big-eared boy, he'll never win. They will never elect a black man to be president. We said, believe you can. What do you believe? If you believe we will bring the world together, then you ought to be saying, we will be in Washington in September, and we will make a difference throughout the world. Not just America, but throughout the world. As Guru said, what do you say to that? How do you think about that? Everything starts with a thought. A thought. Before I say a word to you, I think about it. And when I think, a word comes to my mind. And my words, my thoughts become my words. My words become my behavior. My behavior become my values. And my values become my destiny. Our destiny is to change the world through how we live, through how we smile, through how we laugh at one another, how we touch each other, how we feel deeply. I never thought 59 years later I would be talking about unity. I never thought I'd be fighting for the civil rights movement again. I'll be 81 years old next month. 81 years old. went to jail over 25 times going to jail. But all of those were preparing me and preparing you for such a time as this. What is the key? We've heard from Sri Sri Ravi Shankar talk about love. Dr. King says, only light can get rid of darkness. Only love can get rid of hate. When we begin to love across boundaries. And the key word, watch this word, watch this word, watch this word, communication. Communication is predicated upon three primary principles. Do we understand each other? If we don't understand each other, we can't communicate. So we go to Washington to try to get an understanding about the different cultures, the different ideas, what one person is saying. How do we understand each other? Next, we've got to respect our differences. We're completely different. When I get up to preach on Sunday morning, when I talk to people, I want them to talk back to me. When I say hello, they say, hello, Reverend. They don't sit quietly. They don't wait to what I've got to say. It's called call and response. Are we going to march? Yes, we'll march. Where are we going to go? Go, let's go. It's an excitement. Enthusiasm, the word in Greek, enthusiasm means in God. And when you're in God, you've got to be excited. You've got to want to move. You've got to get to step. You've got to say, bring my children, bring my friend. Go home and get grandma, get grandmother. Come on, grandma, we're going to Washington. So we've got to understand each other, respect each other. And the third one, trust. The trust throughout the world is gone. So we live in a divided nation between black and white and red and blue and Republican and Democrat. All of those are just silos. What we're talking about in the art of living, what we're talking about in the culture festival is breaking down those barriers. And guess who it starts with? You. Me. Not my neighbor. Not my neighbor. Oh, you can clap. It starts with me. It starts with me. It starts with my children, my grandchildren, and my great-grandchildren. They must understand early that there's no difference between us. There's more we have in common than we have in differences. And that's why those of you who've contributed, you are the start. Nothing grows unless it's a foundation. The foundation is love. The foundation is caring. The foundation is decency. The foundation is honesty. The foundation is being transparent so that when I see you and you see me and you see the God in me and I see the God in you, then God receives the glory. We don't receive. We teach in the Christian faith, humble yourself before the almighty hand of God so that God might exalt you in due time. God is behind this movement. God is in the middle of this. God is saying, go forth, do not back up, do not bend, and do not bow. Do not break. We are not only the art of living, but we are the festival that's going to turn America, China, India, the world around. And if you agree with me, just say, I'm with you all the way. I'm ready to go to Washington. I'm ready to make a difference. Oh, I don't hear you over here. I didn't hear you over here. Are you ready to go? Are we ready to march? Are you ready to contribute? I didn't hear you. That's where it all stops right there. A lot of people want to go, but they say, I can't contribute. It's going to take $20 million, and that's what we want. They didn't ask me to say that, but I know what it's like because I've been poor all my life. And in order to do something, but God will provide the provision if we provide our thoughts, our caring. Behind the leadership of this great leader, when I first met Sri Sri over 20 years ago, he came to Atlanta and he wanted to meet some black pastors. And John Holliday said, will you come to the church? At that time I was pastoring and they said, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. I said, man, Sri Sri, what is that? They said, it's a guy from India. I said, India? And we said, is he a hippie or who is he with long beard and white robes? What's he coming here for? He said, I want to come, and this is a tribute to him. I'm sitting there with my deacons and all the people around me, and they came in, Sri Sri, and a lot of the people with all the robes. I said, uh-oh, what did I let myself in for? What is this? I'll never forget it. It turned my life around. There are moments in all of our lives where something happens and you're changed. Some of you will leave here tonight understanding the bigger picture, the real picture that we're trying to do. And Sri got up, the choir finished singing, everybody was, and Sri got up and did this. And I'm sitting there, I said, come on, man, do what you do. He said, I said, oh no, this is a bomb. And he was quiet, and the people were waiting like this. Reb, what's he gonna say? What's he gonna do? I said, I don't know. And then he said, peace and love. It goes beyond all faiths and all religions. Next thing I knew, one of my deacons said, hey, that guy's pretty sharp. Next thing I knew, the whole place fell in line because he was bigger than just Christianity. He was bigger than just Hinduism. He was a voice from God speaking to all of us, and our whole congregation got up and shouted. And when they walked out, he was the guru. That's what it's going to take. It is not about black. It is not about white. It is not about Christianity. It is about the love of God, and that's what we're going to do in September. All who are ready to go in September, stand on your feet and say, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. God bless you. Thank you. Namaste.